So here's my plan of attack. Daryl, let's have you... What do you mean you can't? Come over here, dog. You've been here before. Don't tell me you don't know how to get there. You just come down the stairs and you got it. Hey everybody, welcome to Falcon Plays This War of Mine, the custom workshop scenario update. I've been doing a little bit of revisiting of older games as of late, just checking out any sort of updates and rebalancing and all the other stuff that they've gone through. This War of Mine actually came out as a complete title, so there hasn't really been much development in terms of added content and things of that nature for me to check out. However, there was a really interesting update a while back that basically added a feature where you, as the player, could kind of make up your own story, make up your own characters, and kind of shape the scenario to your own liking. And I figure, you know what, this would be a pretty good way to kind of revisit this War of Mine. But all that said and done, let's get into the game over here. We're going to be doing the Walking Dead scenario. If you are familiar with any other stories that are actually pretty cool, let me know in the comments and I'll check it out. For now, though, we're going to be going with the Walking Dead because I figure it'd be kind of interesting. For one, it has Daryl Dixon, it's got Carol, and it's got Rick Grimes as well. So we'll check it out and see what you guys think of this. Now, we've been doing a little bit of revisiting of older games recently with updates. This is probably one that's going to fit the same bill. So essentially, we'll cover it here today for maybe 4 episodes and see what it's all about. If you guys want to see more beyond these 4 episodes, let me know and I will continue the series. Everything is in short supply, and what little aid reaches the city is seized by the most rootless and best armed. Few residents were lucky enough to flee. The unlucky ones who missed the last refugee convoy are left to fend for themselves. Ordinary people huddling in the ruins, relying only on each other to survive. And that's going to be our introduction right here. Alrighty, so let's talk a little bit about this game here really quickly. But before we do that, let's see if we can have Carol just start working on his door over here. Rick, let's have you rummage through that over here. And then Daryl, let's have you start working on maybe one of these doors down here, preferably. So we found already some components, and we have some water and some wood. Let's go ahead and grab everything over here, and we're fine. What happened to Carol? She's already wounded. How are you wounded, Carol? I guess she started off wounded. Sometimes you'll start off with some wounds and things of that nature. This could be part of the mod itself too, so there is that aspect as well. Let's see if these over here are unlocked. If they are, good. If they are not, we're going to have to probably find ourselves a crowbar or make ourselves a crowbar here pretty soon. We have some components, some sugar, some water, and some... Actually, these are the parts. These are the components right here. Right now, we're kind of grabbing a bunch of these stuff so we could actually, hopefully, down the line, make some workshops over here. I've been covering sheltering on the channel for a while now, so this is very much... has all the premise the same as Shelter does. However, this came beforehand, so if you want to say, like, you know, if it's a knockoff, I don't think any of these games are knockoffs of each other, but definitely this game did come before that, and it really does use a bunch of the Shelter mechanics that you might be accustomed to already. Let's see about having her come down and open this door over here for me. Rick's over here working in this pile. Obviously, we need a shovel for this. Right now, since we don't have a shovel just yet, we're going to kind of hold off and let them use their hands. It's going to take a while to actually clear up this rubble without a shovel, though, so hopefully we can make one pretty soon. We got some food over here, too, which is actually kind of great. Exit that here really quickly. Carol is just going to be, wow, just maneuvering around this way. Oh, Carol, I'm sorry. Can't really help you out right now, I don't think, anyway. So... let's see, you're still working on that one. You, my friend. Let's actually take a look at the workshop, and hopefully there's something we can craft now. A crowbar early would be amazing as well with a shovel. So we could kind of clear up some debris over here really quickly. See, Daryl, let's see, you could make can't really make much of anything. I guess we'll probably get the metal workshop up and running first. You need this to make the crowbars and the shovels if I'm right. So let's go ahead and make this over and place it right about there. Seems pretty good to me. And get to work on that one. Right now we have till... I forget what time it is that you have to mess around here at home to start doing your crafting. I think it's till 8 o'clock, so we do have a significant amount of time before it kicks me out into the scavenging portion of the game, which is the more dangerous part, obviously. But also the way that you're going to actually find more items to complete or continue with your journey over here. Let's see. So you're about to finish this up here really quickly. Come on, Daryl. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. So we can make the lockpick. Now, the lockpick lets you pick locks silently. So if you're kind of going out on a stealth mission, which we will probably do at some point or another, we'll need some lockpicks so we can actually open up doors without alerting the entire map of our surroundings, because people are going to want to kill you in this game quite often, as a matter of fact. So we will need that for that, but however, early on, I don't think you really require the lockpick. It's mostly just having a shovel, which we need 4 more components for, and a crowbar, which we need a lot more as well. So for now, we'll have Daryl just probably browse through this little junk pile over here. Hopefully you'll find something. And maybe, let's see, any more empty piles here? We have to go through this door. That might be locked for all I know. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that really soon. We have another pile over here. That could be locked as well. We don't really know if they're locked until you could actually get to them, if I remember here correctly. So we got a few more... Ooh, we got a lot more components, as a matter of fact. That's pretty good. So you know what, Daryl? Come back down over here and see if you can work on a shovel now. You, my friend, try to open this up. When any luck, it'll be unlocked. It totally is. Good. And we got ourselves... Oh, we got a lockpick. Hey, speak of the devil. Exit that one. Alrighty, Rick, come over here. We need a lockpick for that door right there. I'm going to save that as a matter of fact. And wait up for that one. We can make the crowbar now, so and the shovel too. We could start clearing up the debris around here, which might make it easier to access some other areas. However, we do need the crowbar to unlock a few certain items to her that we already noticed too, huh? I'm going to go with the crowbar first. This might be a bad idea, but again, the crowbar, it'll let you get through locked doors, but it'll make a lot of noise, so you kind of have to be careful if you're going about in a stealth type of manner over here. So you make that. Rick, this is over here locked. Let's not use a lockpick for that. We'll hold off on that one for a bit here, so just hang out. Once the crowbar is done, we'll have him do that. So that's going to be unlocked, that's going to be locked. So right now that we have the lockpick, it'll tell you from afar what's already locked and what isn't. So once the crowbar is done, we'll work on that one. Carol, you're done over here. Let's have you work on this here. I want to get up a bed as soon as possible too, because it's going to be pretty useful as well. Alright, so Rick, come over here and let's pop this door open with the crowbar. As you can see, it'll give you an option if you want to use the lockpick or the crowbar. Since we're at our own home, we don't really need to, be stealthy about stuff. This over here, this opening, is going to actually attract bandits, so we want to close that up pretty soon as well. So for now, we're fine. Let's open up this door. Unfortunately, we have another rubble path over here. That's going to be kind of bad. Let's see about having Daryl start working on this door over here. If she pops this over here done before 8 o'clock, we might be able to get into it, because I don't think we have enough components left over for a shovel now. That might be a problem. Let's see here. Daryl, work on this one here really quickly. No. We need one more component alone for the shovel. So close, man. So Daryl, let's work on this one over here really quickly. I hope we could probably get to it in time, but I really kind of doubt it right now. One of the things I really would have wanted to see for This War of Mine, at least in the updates, is to give you a little bit of a time feature like Shelter does, where you can kind of speed up time. So even though you're in your own base, you can kind of make it go like at 2 times speed or something. Just because you could skip over to the end of the day. However, you don't want to do that because you have a lot of things to do around the base still. So luckily for us, I think Carol might be done with this rubble before 8 o'clock, so we'll get most of this done here over here. I kind of want to cover this over here for this episode, and also maybe our first scavenging aspect as well. But again, as I mentioned, we'll go forward with the series if you guys want to see more of it, so let me know in the comments and by leaving a like, and I know you guys want to see more, and I will continue recording it. Otherwise, we'll just cover a few episodes here today, and that'll be it. But I'm really actually interested about how these custom scenarios kind of worked out, so we'll see how it works out here. Please tell me there's some more components in here. Please tell me that. No! Oh, come on. All we need is this one. Alright, so we did find a bandage and some water and some books. Books will be used for either reading to soothe your anxiety because, if you start killing people, it'll start attracting, issues with your characters, going a bit crazy, a bit depressed, which you don't want happening. And also you can use them for burning. So if you need to heat up the house, which you probably will. Right now we're at 22 Celsius, which is actually pretty ideal. But later on, we're going to start running into issues where we cannot... Oh, hey, nice, he got in here. Let's pop this one open, Rick. You know what? We're not going to be able to make the shovel in time for the first night mission. At least we'll have the crowbar, but we won't be able to get the shovel, which is unfortunate. So let's see here. She will... we kind of wanted to get that bed up and running too. It's going to take me an hour, and we have under an hour before nighttime portion hits. So, unfortunately for me, none of my people will be sleeping here tonight, at least not on a bed. You could sleep regularly, but it's not going to heal them as much, and especially with her being wounded, it could be a problem. We do have a bandage, though, so we could probably use that on her pretty soon here. We'll find out. For now, though, let's go ahead and place the bed down here. And Carol, I know you're over here hobbling about, but let's see if you can just kind of rush it here a little bit. And let's see, let's get into here before the end of the day. Daryl over here, and we're about to go into nighttime. Guys, there's a jewelry piece. It's not really a diamond, but we could use this for barter bait. Obviously, in a war scenario, this doesn't really carry too much trade value anymore, but you can still definitely trade it away, and that's the only use for it, to my understanding. And here we go, the nighttime. So, we didn't get the bed up and running in time, nor did we get the shovel, unfortunately. That's unfortunate, but so be it. Alrighty, so here in the nighttime portion, I'm giving this a rundown as if you're a new viewer, so if you're already aware of This War of Mine, I apologize for kind of running it down, but it is for new viewers that might not be aware of This War of Mine, how this works out. So at nighttime, we have right now 2 different places that we could actually go to. As the game progresses going forward, you actually open up more of these areas going forward, and a lot of them will change based on the weather, the time, and also the warring that's going around in the city itself. So for now, though, we only have the ruined block flats, and we have the shelled cottage. I think the shelled cottage might be the one that we should probably go for. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have Rick stay on guard. We'll have Carol sleep because she's wounded. We might use that bandage on her tomorrow. We'll see. And then Daryl's gonna go out there and scavenge for us. If you're wondering if you could send out more than one person like sheltered, no, you could only send one person out at a time because it has more of a stealth play than something like sheltered. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this crowbar, take this along with us, and that's all we're gonna do. I'm gonna assume that there's gonna be no enemies in this new area that we're going to, at least on the first day. Normally you don't find them this early on, but then again, this is a custom scenario, so who knows what to expect. So right now we could actually scavenge through here, but I'm not gonna do that just yet, because I kind of have a little bit of a method in terms of when it comes to scavenging. I'm gonna take a peek over here. You can actually peek to make sure there's no other people in here. For the most part, I'm pretty sure there's not gonna be nobody in here for now. We have 2 places over here to look into. I'll probably do that later. Right now we have a crowbar. So with the crowbar, I could get into locked areas, so here's going to be 1. There's another area over here that we need the shovel for. We can use it by hand, but obviously you saw how long it took at the base. And I think we only have till like 6 a.m. for the scavenging, so we have to make it back before 6 a.m. If your character does not make it back before 6 a.m., they actually run the risk of never coming back or being injured. A lot of different things that can happen. One of the flyers dropped in the city, it reads, "This is a zone of anti-terrorist operation. Persons remaining in the city will be treated as terrorist supporters. For your own and your family's safety, leave Pagaran immediately. The army guarantee you a safe passage." Not many believed them after the atrocities they had committed. Alrighty. These notes will be kind of interesting because sometimes they'll not only give you a little bit of background of the story, but will tell you about secret locations on the map that you're not aware of until you actually read a certain part. So right now, we have a bunch of wood over here and a bunch of components. I'm going to pick all these up. Let's see what's in this one over here. Right now with Daryl, I could only carry 12 items. There's going to be certain characters that could carry more. I'm not sure if they ever added the backpack feature they talked about. There was, early on in the game, there was a feature that were going to add like a backpack so you could carry more stuff with different people. But I'm not sure if that's something they ever added, so I'm not going to, hold my breath about it, but we'll see if it does pop up over here. And that's all we can carry right now, so that's unfortunate. We'll have to come back over here. So here's my plan of attack. Daryl, let's have you. What do you mean you can't? Come over here, dog. You've been here before. Don't tell me you don't know how to get there. You just come down the stairs and you got it. I'm going to come over here, and this is going to be kind of like my stash for the meanwhile. What I normally do is I grab all the stuff from, an area like a house, for instance. I bring it outside, and then on days that I have to return to an area to pick up the other stuff, I could just go to the first looting spot, pick it up, and leave without running into danger anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and drop everything into this little stash spot over here. Exit out. Great. Now, there's a few more things up here that we leave behind, so I'll check that out pretty soon, but let's also find out what's happening downstairs right now. Alrighty. All these little pink things you'll see over here when you're kind of in the whole fog of war looking system here, essentially it's telling you that there's going to be some movement there. It's going to be sometimes people walking around, sometimes people sleeping, sometimes it'll just be rats, so you kind of have to, you'll be able to tell if it's a person or not based on patterns and whatnot, but I know for a fact this should be relatively empty for us. I could probably use my hands over here. I'm not going to do that just yet, but we might actually do it if we have enough time over here left over. I just want to come over here, grab the leftover stuff, and then we'll hit up this over here and then go back to our stash and dump everything off again. Grab everything over here, good. And let's check out what's happening over here. It's really like, this is a really, really fun game. Like, the story behind it obviously is not fun whatsoever, but just in general, the game was just a really, really fun experience. So I really am enjoying already my time back with it just because I still kind of remember some of the finer details of how to kind of succeed. But obviously, I'm still a bit rusty. And by a bit rusty, I'm really rusty. So if there's any tips you guys want to throw out there for me, do let me know. And, see if I could kind of adapt to them over here. We did lift some more stuff over behind, so I'll come back over here and pick this up. After this one, we'll probably check this bed and then start making ourselves back out. I don't think we'll have enough time to, open up a rubble with our hands, but I'll give it a try, see if there's enough time for it. Let's check this out over here. We can zoom in, by the way, as well. I guess might as well zoom in, since we know. Usually you want to zoom out. Ooh, got some medication. And some herbal meds. These will all be used for illnesses, if I'm correct here. The meds will work better than the herbal ones, but the herbal ones could be useful in a pinch as well. And also for trade bait as well. Keep that in mind. A lot of the things over here you might want to grab just for trade bait alone. Come down over here. And again, we'll dump stuff over here. There used to be like this weird... I'm not sure if it was a bug or it's something they fixed, but before, back in the olden days of this war of mine, I had an issue where I used to do this over here, and on one occasion, everything that I left in a stash got completely, wiped. And we're not sure, at least I'm not sure at the time, I wasn't sure if it was because somebody came over here and took the items, or I'm gonna come down over here, I think. Or if it was just like some sort of weird bug. But people do suggest this type of method where it's like, you know, grabbing stuff and then moving them outside. So I'd figure it was probably like a weird bug. Or maybe it was somebody else that just kind of came by, because there's going to be other survivors that are going to be in areas as well doing their own pillaging. Not all of them are going to be out to kill you, obviously. Some people are just like you survivors, so they'll be also looking through loot, and if they find something, they'll also take it. So you got to kind of keep that in mind. Right now we'll have to 8 a.m. or 6 a.m., right? So I think we'll probably be able to get through this rubble and check this out. And then we'll probably make a dash over here and get on out of here with the majority of these items. We'll probably have to come back another night over here too, because we're not going to be able to do everything in one single night. And that's the thing about this War of Mine. You kind of have to figure out when is it a good time to go back to an old area and when is it not. Because even though this place is safe right now, a few nights from now it might not be safe. There's going to be other dangerous people out here and other people looting as well, so if you take too long, they might actually get all the items before you have a chance at it. So it's definitely a game of, you know, just weighing out your options and seeing what's going to work out for you a bit better here, which is what's really cool. There's going to be a really good, I guess, RNG mechanic to it. Not a complete RNG mechanic to it, but there's a randomized kind of function to it, so not every single run is going to be exactly the same. And this game is difficult. Let's not, you know, kid ourselves over here. It's kind of a really difficult game. On my first playthrough of it for the channel, I started off really rocky. Thankfully, towards the end, what happened to the? Oh, you know what? I'm a fool. I put the crowbar away. Luckily, it's still 6 a.m., so we still have enough time over here. Let's come back over here. I just did this so we could actually get some extra room over here. Where's my crowbar? And there it is. Let's go ahead and pick this up, and we'll leave all the extra stuff over here. Alrighty. For a second there, I was just like, really? I forgot to bring the crowbar already? First day, and I'm already, you know, messing it up. Alright, so we have till 6 a.m., so we should be able to pop this bad boy open. Might want to start working in this rubble. There might be like one extra stash spot over here, but I think for the most part we did really, really good for this first night, so I'm not really too upset about our endeavors here. Let's find out what's in here. Alright, we had some cigarettes, really good for trade bait, and also some people, you could actually mediate their depression based on cigarettes. Everybody's going to be a bit random too, so though I have like different needs, like some people need coffee, some people are apparently alcoholics and need booze, some people need cigarettes, and you know, you kind of have to work around that. So here is our stash. Let's find out what's in this one over here really quickly as well, and we'll just basically put everything in one if we can. Not going to be able to do it right now, huh? Alrighty. So we'll come over here, and I think we're basically done. I have till 6 a.m. I could probably work on that robo here a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and count my blessings and just take what we can. So we'll take the crowbar for a fact. Now over here you kind of have to weigh out what's a bit more important. What do we need right now? Obviously, to build more workshops and more items and more beds, we need wood and components. That's going to be kind of like the really main thing. However, things like food, obviously, is going to be needed, and also medication as well. So I'm thinking we go with medication for a fact. We pick up some food as well. This will be fertilizer, which you could actually make your own food later on. And also you could use it to draw rats, and you could actually trap rats and eat rats. I mean, you have to do whatever you can to survive, right? Now, everything else over here is going to be to my own discretion. We could use some cigarettes for trade bait early on. I don't think that's a bad idea early, so I'll pick up some cigarettes over here. And this is going to be what? The cigarette, and this over here is a roll-up cigarette. I guess we'll pick this one up instead. Herbal medication could be pretty useful for trade bait as well, so let me pick at least one of those up. And then everything over here left over, I think we'll do components and some wood. So let's go with components, and then maybe the last few stacks as wood, more than likely. I don't think we need the parts just yet. I think those are mostly used for upgrades to the stations that are already existing. So we'll do this for now. Not really a bunch of wood over here. You can only carry 2 at a time. Components you can carry up to 4 at a time, which is pretty good. But these guys are only limited to 3. That's all we can do, right? Alrighty, so I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and run to the exit, and we'll call it a day over here, or at least a night anyway. Daryl Dixon is back, and let's find out if anything bad went down. As I mentioned, we do have a hole in our base right now, which does attract bandits, so over time you definitely want to patch that up. Not only for bandits, but I do believe it's also... it'll probably draw in cold as well, if I'm right. That could be wrong. It's been a while since I last played this. Alright, so, luckily... nothing went down. This will tell you over here, like, you know, some bandits came over and attacked and whatnot, but we're fine. We got all this over here. Good. Alrighty, guys, I think we probably wrap it up here for the very first episode of this War of Mine, the custom scenario mod. If you are familiar with any scenarios you're going to check out, let me know in the comments, and I will do so. And more importantly, if you want to see more of the series beyond this point, let me know in the comments by leaving a like or a comment, and we will go forward. Right now, I'm planning on recording maybe 3 more episodes here today, and then based on your reception, we'll see if we go forward. Otherwise, this will be a nice little revisit to kind of see what this update's all about and this whole custom story mod. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up. I will catch you next time.